Good afternoon everyone and welcome to round 9 of the Volkswagen Scirocco League here at Suzuka East. It's good to see the replay's been shared. We're able to get the commentary going on today's, or rather Thursday's, event, which is going to be fascinating to see. In terms of the drivers that are taking part today, we've got 8 in lobby 1 for today. No merged lobby due to the fact that we had a top 4 reverse grid race to come into effect. So let's see how the drivers line up. P Gibb 92 took pole position once again. Good start for him. Good to see him on pole in that obviously red and blue liveried car he's got there. Ruddo 24 returned for the event in that matte, well, I'll say matte, more like a metallic black livery he's got going on there. Matty Rudd was back as well for the first time in a number of rounds, which is good to see him back in lobby 1. D10 Piper was 4th out of the drivers that could qualify. Then the drivers that couldn't, in terms of the top 4 reverse grids, you had JPH99, who's 4th for the championship, Timmy DJ G94, who's 3rd in the championship, Bruce Lee Harden, who's 2nd in the championship, lined on 2nd to last, and Hirakram was 1st. Now, going into this event after 8 races, Hirakram was leading the championship by 34 points. As long as he finishes, title is going his way. So let's cut right back to the front. Let's get things underway. 20 minutes will be coming up in a moment. The lights are going red. Let's see who gets the best start in a moment. So away we go. It looks like a really good start from Pete Gibb. He sort of like tramped his way down, but away he goes. He's in the lead and he's got a nice margin already to Ruddo 24, who's 2nd. Matty Rudd's there in 3rd. D10 Piper's been challenged by Jordan as they go into turn 1. Looks like relatively clean start for everyone so far. Timmy's on the inside of Jordan already, and Jordan is up to 5th, but they're going to be side by side as they come towards turn number 3. Matty Rudd being challenged by D10 Piper there. Front 2 have already got a little bit of a gap already. Matty just defending hard. Timmy's trying to go around the outside. Now he's going to be on the inside for the anti-bank curve. Keeps the line well. The two of them giving each other enough racing room. Jordan's going to be on the inside now, but he's going to be on the outside for the final corner. Really difficult to get right. A little bit of contact into the gravel. Goes Jordan. Timmy goes off too. They both made contact. Good sportsmanship from Timmy. He just lets Jordan back through, but those two drop to the pack. Back to the back of the pack, and Pete Gibb is off and up the road. He's being up and away, so a mistake from Ruddo 24, who's on the inside as they go up to turn 1, and Ruddo keeps the place. A mistake from Ruddo evidently at the final corner. That's going to give P Gibb a lovely advantage as they go into the rest of this race. D10 Piper in 4th, Hirakram's in 5th. As it stands, champion-elect of the Volkswagen Scirocco's. There's Bruce Lee in 6th. Jordan and Timmy going to have to work together to try and catch up around this really tight and technical race circuit. You see Bruce all over the back of the Tesco car in that Human IT Solutions sponsored livery that Bruce Lee runs. Coming on to the end of lap 2 already. Barely 2 minutes into this race, the action thick and fast. D10 Piper in 4th place. The front 4, how they qualified, remain exactly the same. It's the back 4 who've changed positions. That's Ruddo's gone wide at turn 1. It's a chance for Matty Rudd up the inside. They lean on one another coming out of turn 1, but Ruddo keeps the position. It's going to be quite difficult to say the pair of their names because one of them's Ruddo, the other one's Rudd. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. D10 Piper trying to get on the mix now as well, but he's got to be careful. Here comes Hirakram. I haven't seen anyone go around the outside at anti-bank curve before, and sure enough, Mr. Tesco doesn't quite get through. It's things as it stands. Ruddo's gone wide again at the final corner. He gets a nice exit though, whereas Matty Rudd didn't, and Matty Rudd picked up a penalty. D10 Piper alongside him, but Matty's going to have that slipstream. Here comes Hirakram. He's going to be on the inside of D10 Piper coming into turn 1. Can he brake a little bit later? He can, and clean through he goes. So past D10 Piper goes the championship leader. D10 Piper just trying to make a little return pass almost into turn 1, but it didn't quite happen in the end, coming out of turn 2. Oh, Matty Rudd deep into the corner. He's got the champion-elect all over the back of him. Is he on board with Hirakram at the moment? And that's Bruce Lee up the inside of D10 Piper. Nice clean move for those that were watching in the rear view mirror, but D10 Piper's been overtaken, so champions in championship order 1-2 have got past D10 Piper within a single lap. And here comes Heracram now. He's on the inside of Matty Rudd. You see Pete Gibb just clearing his penalty further up the field. Heracram's on the inside. Matty didn't want to give him the space, and that's 2 for the price of 1 for Heracram. And up he goes into second, and Ruddo drops right the way down to 6th. He just ran wide onto the AstroTurf, did Ruddo, and that was it. The number 24 driver falls from 2nd to 6th at the drop of a hat. That's allowed Matty Rudd to stay in 3rd place despite being overtaken into turn 1. So you can see he's being pressured, hustled and harried by Bruce Lee. Bruce is on the inside as they come through turn 1. He's all over the grass and the curve. That's going to be a penalty surely for Bruce Lee. It is indeed. It pings, and look at everyone else getting involved now. You've got D10 Piper, Ruddo, JPH is right there now at the back of this group. He's brought Timmy with him. Ruddo's going to try and make it 3 wide into turn 1. Surely that's not going to go. He's going to try and get 2 for the price of 1. Is he up the inside? He does. And through into 4th he goes. Little bit of leaning on one another. Bruce covers the inside well from D10. He's trying to get back into the inside of Ruddo, but not quite happening. But nevertheless, Bruce stays in 5th despite overtaking D10 Piper. And Ruddo back up to 4th after his mistake. Matty Rudd still in 3rd. He's being dragged forward. Heracram after 6 laps within a second now of P. Gibb 92. P. Gibb must be annoyed because he's been out in front, and now he's going to have the pressure back of him. What will be currently the champion elect as it stands. Good drive from Heracram so far. It's Matty Rudd in 3rd place. They can't really clear the penalties around this circuit. They have to actively slow down. See how the drivers get on though. See everyone just line astern now. The field's back together again after the earlier problems. See Bruce Lee's in 5th. D10 Piper's run a little bit wide. Off into the gravel he goes. He's going to save himself thanks to the tarmac. Little run-off edge at the end there, but he's dropped, unfortunately, down into 8th place. So unfortunate for Timmy, but that's the way it goes. Rather unfortunate for D10 Piper, because Timmy is looking for a move up the inside of Jordan, straight up the inside, clean as you like. No messing around for Timmy. He's up to 6th place now. First time he's moved forward for a while. He's just done a purple first sector as he did it. Still though, 6 minutes gone in this race. Fascinating event so far. Matty Rudd in 3rd place. He's putting in a good shift on his return. He's not in the top 10 in the championship standings, is Matty Rudd, but this effort as it stands would give him enough points to move him into the top 10, but he's got to try and clear that penalty somehow, does Matty. Certainly not going to be easy for him. You can see Heracram now closing the gap on Pete Gibb. Ruddo, quick driver. Haven't seen him for a number of events, but he's starting to get into his rhythm now after his mistake earlier at turn 1. Dragging Bruce with him. Timmy's just been doing 50 flats in the last 2 laps. JPH just hanging on to the back of him realistically. It's his best tactic. It's not going to be easy on the controller. It's D10 Piper. After his little mistake at the final corner, just trying to edge his way back onto the field. Gibbs still got Heracram stuck to his rear wing though. Gibbs defending into turn 1. And Gibb keeps the place for now. Good driving from Gibb. He's led nearly half the race. Rudd's managed to take a 10th off that penalty. But Ruddo's right there with him now. And Bruce Lee also has a penalty. He's just done his personal best on that last lap, so the front 5 starting to converge on one another. Not as if Gibbs going slowly. You see Heracram's right on the back of the red and blue sponsored car of Gibb there, really putting the pressure on him. 50.2 on that last lap, but here comes the slipstream now for Heracram. Can he make a move up the inside? Gibb already starts to defend as they go into turn 1. Round the outside goes Heracram. What a fantastic move if he can get it stopped. Oh, he easily can. He almost made the apex. Fantastic move from Heracram. Round the outside at turn 1 and 2. No contact made. Wonderful overtake from Heracram. And he leads and is the champion-elect. Going to seal his championship with a victory. With a move like that. It's absolutely superb. Ruddo's got past Matty Rudd in the meantime whilst we were watching Heracram. Ruddo up to third. Matty Rudd's run wide. Gibbs made a mistake as well. Bruce Lee looking to try and get up the inside of Gibb, can he? It's going to be very tight. Timmy's past Matty Rudd as well. Bruce Lee's got a penalty to try and deal with. Amidst all of this, Ruddo's up to second. And Bruce Lee up the inside. He goes up to third. Timmy has got past Matty Rudd. Matty's trying to go back up the inside. Then he does indeed. It's a nice move, but Timmy's not giving this up. He's got to be careful with Jordan right behind him. And he slots back into 6th place. Matty Rudd just went a little bit deep into the corner and threw away his 3rd place. And Gibb just put a wheel on the grass, just about caught his slide. And he remains in 4th, but after leading the race for almost half of it, he's going to be annoyed with himself at that. Just pushing a little bit to keep up with Heracram. In the end, didn't quite work out. He's back in the slipstream of Bruce Lee. He's going to have a little look into turn 1. He does, but nothing realistically on as a manoeuvre. Battle for 5th, Matty Rudd. Still got 2/10 of a penalty to try and get rid of. It's the view from JPH. This is what he will see. You can see Matty Rudd there for the take-in after his mistake, but JPH ran a little bit wide there. Took a wider line, but he's actually lost time to Timmy and Matty in front of him. Matty again running wide. Timmy's got a tighter line. Jordan even tighter than that. And yeah, Jordan picks up a penalty as a result, so not ideal for Jordan. His D10 Piper, another mistake on the lap before now, has dropped him away from this pack and field. See, again, Matty Rudd. It's being looked at into turn 1 by Timmy. Timmy all over the rear wing. You can see Matty's almost quasi-registration plate. He's gone deep into the corner as Timmy's going to try and go round the outside. Looks like he's done the move, and he has done. A mistake from Matty. In the end, cost him. He's dropped to 6th. Got Jordan all over the back of him now. Ooh, Jordan didn't get that line at all right through the final corner. You can see him feathering the throttle, trying to get the power down, but he's just lost momentum. Unfortunately for him. Gibb again, keeping within the slipstream of Bruce Lee. 8 minutes to go in the session. Bruce Lee just on for a podium. Be a good result in his fight between himself and Timmy, who's a couple of corners back in 5th. Just extend a nice little gap for him. The championship, though, is going the way of Heracram, providing that he finishes. At the moment, though, Heracram's leading the race. I wouldn't say comfortably. Ruddo's certainly keeping him honest. I mean, Heracram, best lap of the race, a 49.6. Ruddo just took a 10th out of him there. Gibbs even setting some quicker laps now. Timmy's a little bit further back for him, unfortunately. Matty Rudd and JPH still fighting. As they come into turn 1. See the drivers trying their best to just stay within the slipstreams, keep on top of one another. It's going to be very difficult, though, in the remaining 7 minutes for this to happen if they want to getting themselves onto the podium, especially in P. Gibbs' case. He's going to have to really dig deep now. You can see taking a different line to Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lee just gets a nicer line off the corner. Stays in front once again. Bruce Lee not too far away from Ruddo for that matter. Personal best from Bruce on that last lap. Look how wide Ruddo goes into turn 1, but look at the exit he gets. He's absolutely pushing the car to the limit. 49.8 from Ruddo last lap. 49.6, so Hirokram getting within 100th of a second almost of his best lap so far. Small and finer margins between the drivers. See Ruddo right again at the limit of the adhesion. Jordan has got past D10 Piper in the meantime. Another personal best goes the way of Bruce Lee Harden. He's got the bit between his teeth now. He's taking P. Gibb with him for that matter. Really good racing from the front 4. Timmy's also setting 49.6s now. It's just a little bit too far away at the moment to make any form of impact or impression on the 3 cars in front of him. I say 3, Hirokram's got a little bit more of a gap than that. There's Jordan. He's away from D10 Piper now, so Matty Rudd's made a mistake. Oh, Matty's gone very deep at the left-hander before the anti-bank curve. That could have been horribly wrong. He's got to just dust himself down, go back after D10 Piper, try and secure 7th if he can. Those 3 just circulating not too far away from one another. There could be another battle there towards the end of the race. Hirokram still leads Ruddo with the pressure all over him now. Bruce Lee Harding right there with the metallic black livery of Ruddo's. Both of them using different amounts of curbs going through the S's. Ruddo with a better line. You can see the amount of time that he's gained. And Hirokram looks a lot closer. Hirokram set 2:49.9s on the last 2 laps. What about this one? I wonder if Hirokram's just had a little wobble somewhere. Yeah, 49.8 and 49.5 from Ruddo, so 3/10 taken out of Hirokram. 4 minutes to go effectively in the session now. Ruddo sniffing a potential opportunity in front of him. Runs deeper into turn 1. Doesn't quite hit the apex like he has been. P. Gibb there in 4th place. Another situation for Gibb, who's got fastest lap of the race now, where he's sat there watching everyone else in front of him whilst he can only observe for the time being. Looking a little bit further back, these 2 of D10 and JPH have closed up on one another. Jordan has an 8,000th of a second penalty as opposed to half a second for D10. Back at the front, so the drivers come through. Hirokram better lap that time. Ruddo with a 49.8. Not gaining anything on that lap. You can see Bruce Lee gaining on the straights. Oh, he's pushing Ruddo through turn 1. Just watching Jordan. He's not having to defend from the 2 behind. 3 minutes to go in the session now for these 4 drivers at the front. Coming towards the end of this frankly fascinating second half of this race. It really has been. You can see Bruce Lee now being pressured by P. Gibb. Bruce still has that penalty to deal with. Oh, Ruddo's been suckered into the grass. He's just about kept it out of the wall, but this is the opportunity that Bruce Lee needs. They come towards turn 1. Ruddo moves across. This is going to be difficult for the 2. P. Gibb's right in the thick of it as well, but Ruddo fends him off for another day. P. Gibb couldn't take advantage after all of that. Ruddo, a lucky driver, has to be said. How he's not hit the wall or anything because of that, only he knows. A certain brown trousers moment for Ruddo, but he's got away with it. This is the type of pressure that Hirokram will be happy with. He's got himself a nice little buffer now that he doesn't need to push too much. He's on his way to that championship with just a minute and a half effectively to go now. Ruddo weaving aggressively coming out of the final corner. Trying to break the toe. Didn't think it was worth as much of an effort as it was. And Gibb taking his penalty. Interesting tactic from Gibb. He's not close enough to Bruce. He's sort of lost a lot more momentum than what he would have wanted. He's about a second behind currently. He's got to hope that potentially 1, maybe 2 laps to go, that those two have a good little scrap amongst themselves. Matty Rudd's past JP, or rather past D10 Piper in the meantime. 1 lap to go then for the drivers. I think Hirokram's going to get a victory lap by the looks of things. Ruddo goes defensive again. How defensive does Ruddo go towards turn 1? He didn't need to go to the extreme. Bruce though really late on the brakes as they come into turn 1. Round turn 2. Can't quite get close enough. Gibbs still shadowing where he needs to as they flick it through the S's. What must be the final time. See how much pressure Bruce Lee's trying to go up the inside of the anti-bank curve. Not quite there. 10 seconds to go. I think Hirokram's just going to run out of time for a victory lap, but I will come back to him. Is he going to hold on? He does. It's Hirokram who takes the win then. Ruddo's 24th second. Bruce takes 4th because he couldn't clear his penalty. Gibb gets 3rd. Bruce Lee 4th. Timmy 5th. JPH is he going to hold on? No. Yes, he does. Just at the end. 6th place to Jordan. 7th to Matty Rudd. D10 Piper 8th. But next gen Hirokram takes the title of Lobby 1. Fantastic for him. He's been absolutely brilliant all season long, has Mr. Tesco. And he gets that championship title. What a wonderful performance from Hirokram. No doubt he'll have been expecting it, but he's done it nevertheless. Ah, what a fantastic race that was. I will be commentating on Lobby 2 in a few moments time. I say a few moments, it'll be in a few hours or so, but it will be done today, so do tune in later on this evening for commentary of Lobby 2 of the Scirocco League. Next week, the final round of the Sciroccos, we'll be heading off to Lago Maggiore, which will be a great circuit to see how everyone gets on. But nevertheless, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. See you soon.